Hi everyone, Stepan here. I just got in a game, okay, and I have the white pieces. I'll play another 15 plus 10 game. Let me just see if everything is okay. Hope the sound is okay. There could be a lot of sounds. Okay, I'll play E4. There could be a lot of sounds around me today because it's I'm in a small village at the seaside where my parents spent their vacation, and it's a church holiday here, Saint Lady of something, I don't know what. And in about an hour, people are going to go swimming from one side of the shore to the church. So, and there's a church on the, I don't know the English word, cape. Okay, so there's a cape at the end of the village where there's a small church from, I don't know, the 17th century or something like that. And there they have this procession of people who actually either go by boat or swim to that church. So the church may start ringing soon. In any case, someone asked about Lucia's film. She has several, and it's on at the Super Toon Film Festival in Šibenik, which starts tomorrow. So you can check it out there if you want. So Šibenik is a city in Croatia where, yeah, they hold this. They've been holding this animation festival for about 10 years now. Okay, I don't know what to do here. I hate this, and I play f4, d4, c4, knight f3, bishop b5. I've played all of them. I think I'm going to go knight f3 and just play a normal line. My opponent is 2189. His name is Muhammad Zargar. I don't know anything about him, so he may go for the standard positions with takes. Yeah, I'll just play d4. There is some unusual stuff which in this Portuguese variation I'm not so sure about anymore. I haven't been studying that for black almost at all, and for white I've mostly been looking at bishop b5 lines when I was at the Croatian Cup with Mate, because he was preparing that for one game, so we looked at very interesting sharp positions. Okay, now I'll get into the game. No more talking. If the church starts ringing, I'm sorry. There could be a lot of people also in my yard, so sorry about that in advance if it happens. Okay, I could play bishop e2. I could also play bishop d3. I could also play c3 or knight c3. Or bishop c4, or c4. I think c4 is the most aggressive, so I'm going to do that. And just try to expand before I develop my pieces. I could have played c3 as well, with a passive French sort of... I don't know, French for white though, position. Okay, now knight c3, and playing bishop e2 is kind of passive, but if you play bishop d3 there, in this position, if you go bishop d3, then he may have knight b4, and what do I do there? So okay, knight c3, e6. Now we have a sort of normal position where his bishop is going to want to go to d6 probably. If I go bishop f4 now, he may have knight h5, but then I have bishop g5, then he may have queen d6, but then he's taking away a square from his bishop. Then again, I could develop my light squared bishop first with bishop d3, but I'm still hanging a pawn because bishop d3, bishop f3, queen f3, queen d4. There is no bishop check because I have a pawn on c4, so that would be losing a pawn. It's a normal Scandinavian now. Okay, bishop f4, bishop d6. I can go bishop g3 or I can take. My dog is chasing a cat, by the way, so sorry about that as well. I could also play bishop g5, but then bishop d6. I think I like bishop f4 most, but I would also like to develop my king side. But if I go bishop e2, he goes bishop d6. So I'll go bishop f4. I don't think I'm running into any issues. And also, if he doesn't play bishop d6 now, I could have knight b5, where he has to go knight a6. I'm not saying... okay, yeah. He plays it immediately. So if I go bishop g3, he can take and I can never get rid of this pin. If I go takes, then he develops his queen, so I don't want to take. I don't have knight e4. So I could go bishop g5 or I could go bishop g3. I think I'll go bishop g3. I mean, if he wants to take, that's okay. And at least if he takes, then I have the open h file for my rook, so that's good. Okay, now I can go bishop d3, I think, because if bishop d3, bishop f3, queen f3, queen d4, bishop h7. This didn't work with the pawn on c4 because I didn't have bishop b5 check, but now I have bishop h7 check. And he's just playing his normal Scandinavian moves. I hate people who play the Scandinavian when they do everything on autopilot, says a man who's been playing the London for the last year. But I feel that the Scandinavian is even more on autopilot, because get your bishop out, play c6, e6, bishop d6, and then just bore people to death. Wow, okay. Isn't this risky? I mean, I've realized that I've lost a pawn here, but he's losing h7, and he may just lose his king. Is he really going to take here? I didn't even consider that he would want to try and take on. Okay, now I can just castle queenside, which I wanted to do anyway, so he cannot take the pawn, because if he takes, then still bishop h7. But in this position, if instead of h6 he takes, queen takes, isn't that suicidal? I can just castle queenside, or I can take on h7. Okay, he's playing really quickly. I have 11 minutes 37. Okay. So now that I've unpinned my queen, that is, I need to get my other rook into play. So I'm thinking about rook h4 or rook h2. I would love to play knight e5. I would love to play knight e5. But I don't want to do it if I lose a rook. I could also try knight e2, knight f4. But I'm not sure. Yeah, sorry about this. There is some people coming. Yeah, okay, there's going to be chaos now. I'm sorry about this. Okay, so... okay. Just a second. Ana. Ajme, snimam video, samo još da dovršim, please. Okay, everything is going on now. I'm sorry, but they're all my neighbors, and I love them, and they're going to be quiet until I finish. Or they'll try to be quiet. Okay, I need to try and get back into the game. Okay, I want to double my rooks on the h-file, but I have nothing to attack h6 with anyway. He cannot go e5 or c5 still, while my rook is on the d-file, so doubling my rooks may not even be advantageous because... well, because I want my rook on the d-file. So I'm thinking about something weird like rook d2, abandoning a kingside attack, unpinning, preparing knight here, and giving myself the option to double on the d file. Because I really want my rook on the d file. Okay, I'm going to do that because I'm wasting too much time. Okay, this makes sense, but I cannot go 95 now. He's still playing really quickly. So now what I want to do is move my knight away somewhere and go f3 and start an attack. I feel like I have to do it. Now I don't know if I want my knight on h4, because then it's... then I don't have any squares if I go f3. So I think I'll go knight... Wait, actually, now that I've unpinned, knight h2 forces him to h5, because knight f5 loses... well, I doesn't lose, but doubles his pawns. But if I go knight e1 or knight g1, the bishop on h5 is attacked by the rook straight away. And my knight on h2, so I'm thinking I can go knight h2, knight f1, knight e3, controlling d5. So I'm going to do that. So so bishop h5, f3, threatening g4, which means that the bishop has to go to g6, and they double his pawns, which is huge because then e6 is weak and I can go rook e1. Also, my plan of getting the knight to e3 should be much better there. My neighbors are going swimming to that thing, and now they're saying that there is nothing more irritating than seeing somebody in the sea with glasses. Yeah, I'm sorry about this, but so this is our yard where I've been since I was 6 years old. Every summer, my grandmother used to live here in the 40s, 30s, 40s, something. And we have friends here who've been coming here since we were coming here. So, yeah, it's always full of people. And I have nowhere to hide and play. Now Lucia is laughing at me. Okay. Okay, so Lucia is here laughing at me. and this is my door. I don't know if you can see it. This is my parents' place. These are our friends. This is Mare. Yeah, sorry about that. So that's what's going on. And I have 8 minutes on the clock. And everybody's laughing at me because they don't understand. Okay, yeah, but knight h2 was good, I feel. And if, as you can hear, the church started ringing. It's not too loud yet. I mean, he has to go bishop h5, I think. And I promise I'm going to stop thinking about everything else, which is very hard because a lot's going on, but I'll try. Okay, bishop h5. Can I go f3? Or should I go knight f1? Or g4 straight away, because if he goes bishop h5 and I go g4, he has to take. He either takes with the knight or with the bishop. If he takes with the knight, then takes, bishop takes. f3, again bishop h5, I can take that, so that doesn't work. So he has to go bishop f5, and then I take. So I gave up my g3 pawn to double his pawns on the f file. I feel like that's not enough. But also, there's no knight on f6 for now, but I don't have the e4 square. I can take the pawn on f5 though. I didn't think he could do this. So I feel like I have to take. I mean on g4. So knight g4, he has to take, because if he takes on d4 I play knight f6. Knight g4, rook h4. If he takes on d4, then rook g4, d takes c, and I have queen c3 threatening mate. He doesn't have g6. And the d file is open, so I like that. So knight g4, rook h4. Knight g4, rook h4. If he goes back to f6, then at least I got rid of his bishop, and I can play g4. So if he takes on d4, I can go knight e2, and my idea is just to go g5. So I'm going to do that. I think this is good. I have 6 minutes on the clock, so I need to play quickly. He has to take back. He could go knight here, but then I have d5. Sorry for not mentioning that. That was my reasoning. So if he goes here, then d5, where okay, this happened yesterday, where someone asked for a take back. I'm actually going to give the take back here because this makes no sense. Just e4 makes absolutely no sense. Okay, so I'll stick with my plan. This is what I was calculating, and he has to take on c3 now. And when I take with the queen, I feel like I have a great position. I gave up a pawn, but look at my pieces. No, I didn't even give up a pawn. Yeah, sorry, I got the pawn back. Look at this. Look at this. How can I not be better here? My pieces are just tremendous. He probably has to play something like queen e5. And then I probably go queen c2 and rook e2. He plays knight e5. Oh. Okay, I'm looking at rook g7 first. Rook g7, king g7, f4, f6 takes. I feel like that's not enough. Oh, there has to be something here. Rook g7, king g7. f4, f6 takes. Yeah, then queen takes. I don't like it. I don't like rook g7. I don't think I have enough. Okay, bishop h7, king h7. Bishop h7, he can also go king h8. But let's say takes, queen c2. What did I achieve? I didn't achieve anything. I don't want to go rook e4. I don't mind him taking my bishop, but I want to keep my rook near his king, so I'm thinking rook h4, which seems more active. And I'm going to do it quickly because I don't see any sacrifices that work. Although I should have gone rook e4 probably, because then when he takes, he doesn't have queen e5. But takes, okay, takes, I take with the queen, I think. I don't know. I just want to play g4, g5. If I can do that, then I can open the position up. Okay, what do I take with? Rook takes gives up my second rank, which I don't want to do. Queen takes allows rook d8, which trades rooks. I don't like it. This is going to get very, very messy. Major piece endgame with, for me, no time on the clock. It's very risky. So I'm thinking if I take with the queen and he plays rook d8, I can at least play rook d4, threatening rook d7. So I like that. And so he should do this, and then I abandon the attack for now, because I need to keep my control over the d file, and I threaten rook d7. So if he trades takes, I have queen d7. So as long as I can get something to d7, I should have an advantage. Okay, now rook d4. Takes. I'm still keeping the d file. At least I have something. I mean, I still have the plan of going g4, g5, and whatever happens, if I can open his king up, even with one pair of rooks and the queens on the board, is going to be good for me. For now, I have no weaknesses, especially if the queens come off. My king is... Okay, so, yeah, this is one thing that... I don't remember who taught me, but when it's opposite sides castling, and you're entering a rook endgame, the side with queenside castling has a huge advantage, because obviously the king is very close to the center, especially in open center positions like e4, e5 openings, or in this case the Scandinavian, which gives this open e and d files position. Casting queenside is good because you're closer. Excuse me, I still have a bit of a cold. Okay, so now we have the d file. We have a lead in development, basically, because his rook is still on f8. He could go rook e8, but then we have rook d7, queen d7. Okay, I don't want to go king b1, obviously, making my king worse. I don't want to give up a pawn, so I think I just go a3. I don't see anything better. And then a3, rook e1. a3, rook e1, if king c2, queen a4. So a3, rook e1, I think I go queen c3. a3, rook e1, queen c3, then he has rook d8. I don't like that. I really don't want to go b3, but I may have to play b3. I don't want to go b3. a3, rook e1. a3, rook e8, excuse me. a3, rook e8. What do I do? Queen d3, rook e1, king c2, queen a4, queen b3. It's okay. a3, rook e8, queen d3, still keeping the d file. And if he goes rook e1, I go king c2, and on queen a4, I have queen b3. Okay, I'm going to do that. b3 seems to weakening, king b1 seems to weakening, and I need to be able to block any checks. So rook e8, queen d3, rook e1, king c2, queen a4, queen b3, and if takes, my king is still slightly better. It should be equal, of course, but I'll still try to win. If he goes queen a4 now, then I can go rook e2, not allowing rook e8. Then if he goes queen back to a5, I have to go rook d2. Or I could go rook e7, and then on rook d8. No, yeah, I cannot go rook e7 because I'm allowing queen e1 check. I hate major piece endgames with little time on the clock. Okay, so I definitely don't want to trade pawns, because that reduces winning chances significantly. So I'll just instinctively keep as many pawns on the board. Also, I don't want to open up the c-file, of course, towards my king. And I mean, nothing changes. If he goes rook e8, I still go queen d3. b5, c5 just gives me a target. I feel that the c6 pawn is very weak in any rook endgame. It's also weak in queen endgames, but it's very hard to use that with my exposed king on c1. And still g4, g5. At this point, I think I would like to trade queens. I think I have an advantage in the rook endgame because of the c6 pawn. How do I try to win, though? Can I try to win? Okay, he wants to play... He wants to play b4, so b4 takes, rook takes, queen d8, check, queen d8, rook d8, king h7. And I can then go rook d6, winning the pawn on c6. So, let's say I do nothing. b4, a b4, rook b4, queen d8, rook d8, king h7, rook d6 wins the c6 pawn. If b4, a b4, queen a1, queen c2, queen a4, I can just go no, king c2, queen a4, I can go king d1, king d3, and then on check check I can run away to the king side. Now I don't want to play queen b4 because he can play queen c7. So I think I should allow whatever he's trying to do. Maybe I should just improve my king with king c2. So b4, ab, rook b, queen d8. Yeah, okay, I like king c2. I'll just improve my king. I don't see any reason not to do this. If he plays queen a4 here, I would gladly trade queens. Gives me a probably winning rook and pawn endgame with the doubled a pawns and the c pawn. So b4 I don't think can be played, because I just take. If he trades queens, he is worse. If he takes with the rook, I think he may be losing. So again, b4, ab, rook b, queen d8. Queen d8 has to trade. Okay, I'll just do this. I hope he takes with the rook. Rook takes, queen check, rook check, king h7, rook d6. Yeah, if he takes with the rook, I think I have a winning rook and pawn endgame. If he takes with the queen, that's a different story. Takes, because on rook d6 he has... Okay, yeah, now I'm very happy. I think I'm winning. Then again, my assessment of the position is often exaggerated, and I could be wrong. He still has rook c4. What is wrong with me? He still has rook c4 check on rook d6. I didn't see this, so I need to do something. So I need to play king c3. So king c3 first, king c3 and then rook d6. Okay, so if I go rook d6, obviously I'm losing to rook c4. Okay, so king c3. Now I'm threatening rook d7 and rook d6. So he has to go rook a4, I think. Or rook b7. Why didn't I see rook c4 in this position? Okay, so if I go b4, he plays a5. And if I take, he takes on c5. b4, a5 takes, rook c5, king b4, rook b5, check, king a4, and then rook f5. I really don't want to lose my c pawn, but I cannot lose my b pawn either. So I think I have to go b4. I don't see any other move. He has to play a5. That's clear, but I don't have another option. I need to go for this. I can always bail out with like this, and this, but that should be a draw. Yeah, he takes. Obviously. Oh, okay. But this I'm happy to see. Now he's forcing me to the c file instead of to the a file. Okay, I think I have to do this. He goes here. And I try to queen my c pawn. Okay. I don't know if he's calculated this. I haven't. But based on my intuition, I think I should be good here. Okay, so now I cannot go here because he goes rook g6. Okay, so I'll just push. What is his plan? How does he intend to stop this pawn? I need to play quickly. I don't think he's stopping the pawn. Maybe I'm missing something. I just need to make sure that I have an answer to rook c1. Nothing else scares me. Because I'll be up a rook for 3 pawns and I can win that position easily. It is 3 connected pawns, but still. No, this doesn't work. He has to give up his rook. He has to take now. Otherwise I just queen. Yeah, okay. Yeah, this is winning. I mean, he didn't calculate everything correctly. Let me just get my king into the position. His king is also cut off, so okay, it's just completely losing now. G5 is probably the worst move he could have played. Yeah, it's just over. Okay, I mean, he didn't calculate anything. For some reason, he just went for a losing... so, my people are going swimming, what I told you about. So they're going to swim on that church thing. Okay, wants to get his king closer. I'm gonna get my king closer. This is over. My king is in the corner, so now he has no chance. Okay, now how do I win this? Okay, let me just get my king here. This is the safest square, I feel. And he needs to push some pawns soon, because he cannot go here, cannot go here. I'm looking for g4 or h4. Those would be terminal weaknesses. Okay. Now h4, bam, bam. I don't want to check his king forward. So how do I make progress? I should probably get behind somehow. It's okay, I'll try to get behind the h-pawn to provoke it forward. I know that he can go king e4, but I'm going to go rook h8, and when h4 happens I have the g4 square. And then if f5 I can take on g5. He needs to move his pawns to try and win, and I need him to move his pawns to weaken them. Yeah, he should not have played a b4 and rook takes. I mean, okay, I had to insert king c3, and also in that position after king c3, where he attacked my pawn on c5, and I played b4 on a5 takes, he should have taken rook c5 check. Okay, now this makes me happy. Now he can never move his g-pawn. And if I can get my king here and prevent f5, then I can start targeting pawns. So I think I get my rook here, king here. So this one is not moving, this one is not moving, and this one cannot go to f5, and that should be winning. I mean, it is winning, I just need to win one of the pawns, or I need to attack the weakest link. Okay, so he wants to play f5. So how do I stop that? How do I stop f5? I cannot go king g4. If I go rook here, then he can go king back to f5. If I go rook back to g8, he goes king f5. Okay, so I'll just go here, and if he goes king f5, I'll try to wait because he has no useful moves. If he goes back, then I have king g4. If he goes here, then I take. If he goes here, I have king g4. So I'll try to put him into Zugzwang. He cannot go here. He cannot move his king now because, okay, yeah, okay. Now, I just wait, and he has no useful moves. So here and here loses a pawn, here loses a pawn, here I have king g4. So this is, I think, Zugzwang. If he goes back, I go here. If he pushes, I take. If he goes here, I take on f6. Here I take on f6. King e5, I play king g4. And on f5, I take on g5. Okay, yeah, this is Zugzwang. Yes. This is easy now. He has no useful moves. I'm going to get into g4. He should resign. I don't see any possibility. Maybe best is giving up his h pawn, but that cannot be good. Yeah, it's over whatever happens. Because he cannot defend his g pawn if he plays f5 later on. Let's say king e5, king g4, f5, king g5. And that's it. My rook is in time to catch the h pawn. It's over. Okay, I think I managed to win with all the distractions. I'm happy. This was tough. I mean, it may seem easy to you, but it's very hard for me to play when there's stuff going on around me. Also, I ran out of coffee half an hour ago. I keep trying to drink from an empty cup. Okay, this was my plan, so I'm sticking to it. King g4. So as I said, he doesn't have f5 because I take. He doesn't have h3 because I take. He cannot go here, cannot go here, cannot go here, cannot go here, cannot go here. Yeah, everything he does now loses a pawn. Whatever he does loses a pawn. Now it's 2 pawns for the rook. Okay. Now again, let's get my king closer. He doesn't have here, he doesn't have here. And again, it's all about forcing his pawns forward as much as you can. Okay, this I feel cannot be allowed. I need to chase the king away. And then get my king to f3. Okay. And we go for the same process again until another one of his pawns falls. Okay. How can I force him to move his pawns forward? Okay, yeah, I actually made a mistake last move. I need to get behind one of the pawns. Now he has to choose whether he wants to go here or here. And that's a big choice. If he goes back, he's cut off from his pawns. If he goes here, then I force him to move one of the pawns forward. So king e5, rook g6, g4, king g3. And he cannot go back, because if he goes back, yeah, okay. Now he has to push the pawn, and again I go king g3, and he is in Zugzwang, because now here. Okay, now I stop this one. Well, maybe I can actually do this, takes, and cut his king off completely. Yeah, I'm going to cut his king off from the pawns. Now the king is cut off, and now I just pick off the pawns. Yeah, okay. Nice. Okay. Let's have a look at the game. Okay. Let me just expand this a bit. Filters. Yeah. Again, sorry about all the commotion and everything, but it's what it is. let's have a look at the live book. Okay, bishop g4. I don't think that's a mistake. c4 is fine. People usually play knight b6. Okay. Can you guys see all the... Yeah, you can see the engine evaluation and the book as well. Okay. Okay, so e6 is okay. Why is bishop g3 a mistake? And it's a huge mistake. Okay, I understand that I want to keep my bishop in the attack and then play h3. Okay, so bishop e3, castles, h3, bishop h5. Yeah, okay, the engine just wants the bishop here. I thought that opening up the h file would be fine for me. So let's have a look at that. So castles. Wow, okay. Aha, so after knight c6, I'm just worse because I have no way to defend my pawn. I didn't even consider that. Yeah, but he plays c6 and now bishop g3 is okay for me. Okay, let's get to the interesting part of the game. e5 blunder. Okay. Bishop h5 was best. Knight g4. Well, wait. If knight g4 is not the best move, what is the best move? Okay, knight g4 is the best move. And then knight g4. Okay. This is... and I can get in g4 immediately. Rook h4 is a huge blunder. It seemed very natural to me. Yeah, I thought I was going to have an edge, but then he plays knight e5 and I don't have an edge. And then also I could have played rook d4 straight away instead of rook h4 to just keep the d file. Yeah, and this is just equal. Let me just check if... Okay, c5 is good. Rook b8, and he doesn't have b4 as I said. I played king c2. b4 takes. Yeah, rook takes is better for me, but it's not winning. How is it not winning? King c3 is fine. Here b4. Okay, and now, yeah, okay. And I was thinking here and here and here. What? Ah, I can just queen my pawn. What? Ah, I thought my king was going to be cut off on the a file, but I actually just queen my pawn. Okay, so congratulations to my opponent for seeing that. I didn't see that. Okay, so how did I win? Okay, so rook d6. And I don't think he can take all of my pawns. Wait, this is still a draw. How is this still a draw? Yeah, after rook g6 it's easy. That's what we saw. But if he goes back and I go rook c5, how is this not winning for me? He checks me, I go here. He goes back here. Here. Am I not in time to win a rook? And win again? Yeah, he is much quicker now. Because my king is much worse. So, yeah, now... Okay, this is of course impossible to calculate, but my king was on g3 in this position. It's a huge difference. Okay, yeah, but this is... Let's just check my technique. Yeah, and g5 has to be the worst move because it cuts off his king. So g5... Yeah, okay. Wait, to draw? What? What? So if he plays f5 here, it's a draw? How is that possible? I don't understand this, okay. This seems like a puzzle position. How is this a draw? Why would I check him towards the pawns? Okay, so this is the farthest square. So my king needs to stay here. So let's say I use e4 and d4 and d5 to try and go around. So I cannot use e4, so let's say I try to do this. And he pushes. How is this not winning? I don't understand. I'm going to use an engine so that I don't waste too much time. So h4 king d4, h3 king e5. Okay, so I cannot take, but I can block. And here? Yeah, how is this? Yeah, because he just keeps chasing my rook away. If he doesn't have king g7 here, if he plays something random, then it's easy. Okay, yeah, okay. I didn't see that. Yeah, and after that I did manage to block the pawns. Okay. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Again, sorry for the interruption. I hope you didn't mind it. Stay tuned for more chess. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.